Good afternoon, everyone. We are here in Murcia, Negros Occidental, Philippines. Right, guys. Thanks for the support, guys. Very much appreciated. God bless. Right, we're here, guys. We're here in Murcia Negros Occidental, and please subscribe. Please share the videos. If you're actually not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe, guys. If you watch the channel, it helps me quite a lot. So we're here in Murcia, and I had a few messages actually. Not so many, and not so many responses, about rabies here in the Philippines. So I won't touch on the topic. If you find to have these dogs running around town and cities, well, it's okay. I'll not touch on it anyway. A lot of bad things have been happening here in the Philippines. Life is normal. People are going about the business, they're out shopping, they're travelling from Bacolod to Bacolod, and it's a rainy day here in Murcia. Now, this is Thursday night. I think now today, Saturday. So it'd be Sunday, Monday before I manage to upload this video, guys. And like I said, we got to Murcia and we got to the plaza. We came for a little bit of shopping, and it started to throw it down as per normal. And yes, we had to ride. We waited for Jovelyn. We're in Murcia a couple of hours in the food court. And I thought it stopped raining a little, and then I thought, oh, it's a good time to go. And then when Jovelyn turned up, it was throwing it down with rain, so we got wet through going back to Concilium, but not so bad. Now, I heard on Facebook yesterday, and Jovelyn's just been on about it. Southern Leyte, Sammer. We've had quite a lot of earthquakes. I don't know what's happening. And strangely enough, the earthquake in Cebu was around 10 o'clock. And then there was one in Mindanao yesterday that were about 10 o'clock. I think this is at night, guys, or I don't know, night. Well, I know Cebu were at night because we got the earthquake with it. And then, there were, so there's been Cebu, we got it here. Murcia, Negros Island got the earthquake, and quite a few others, So it's been, it's been a bit crazy, really, and we hear tremors all the time because we're actually across from the volcano, the Canlahan, and wow. Like I said, lots of bad things going off. Mindanao, that had an earthquake yesterday. Devo, another earthquake in Devo. And they happened on the 10th. This is yesterday. These are some of the earthquakes. Like I said, a couple of last week, we had earthquake here. Not a very good experience. And I don't know why we've got all these earthquakes all of a sudden. It seems to me like we've got them all of a sudden. I don't know what's going off. Now, if you know how a volcano works, under the ground, there's lava under the ground. It's very, very, very hot under the ground. Don't ask me why. I know a little bit about the science, so to speak. So under the ground's really, really hot, and these volcanoes are the chimneys. When it gets hot, these volcanoes release all this heat, and this heat can be in lava, it can cause earthquakes, and it seems to me like we're getting quite a lot here in the Philippines. And I've been here 3 years, third time here in the Philippines, and I've never heard of really earthquakes, on this scale. Now, a lot of people probably think it's God and God's probably punishing people. And, I know a lot of you will think that's a bit, you'll probably think it's Codswallop, but that's what a lot of people think. Maybe it's the Lord, it's Jesus, it's God, and it's his disapproval. Anyway, moving on, I think Summer and Southern Lady, this is yesterday, guys. Actually, a friend of mine sent me a message on Facebook Messenger, and he was chatting to me. He says, I've heard, he says, is everything okay there in the Philippines? He says, because I've heard there's another big earthquake. I said, yeah, there's been quite a few earthquakes, really bad ones, mega high, 7.2, really big bad earthquakes. And I was chatting to him. I said, we're okay. We didn't, as far as I know, we didn't get an aftershock. And we got chatting, and he were on about the sea. He said it's gone out to sea. Well, what happened as I actually, now I'm watching a lot of these earthquakes around the Philippines, and what's happening now is all these earthquakes, a few of these earthquakes, like I said, Sama and Southern Leyte and a good few other places, it's going out to sea. They're causing tsunamis, or it says they could cause a tsunami. And I saw the sea, and I think this was off Southern Leyte and Sama, and you could see the sea were very, very, very choppy with these earthquakes. Big earthquakes, guys, 7.2. And according to form, they're actually going to get a lot of tsunamis. So, can you imagine that? Wow, absolutely crazy. And I don't know I know what causes earthquakes, so to speak, but it seems to me like, even though when I've been, on some of these, on the news updates and a lot of these earthquake updates, the people that cover them, it seems to me, even though it said the Philippines gets hundreds and hundreds of earthquakes every year, it's news to me. On this scale, it's news to me, right? And I've never known it before, so for last 3 to 5, 6 years, I've never really known the Philippines to get hit that bad by all these earthquakes. But, it is what it is. And like I said, God bless, cause wow, it's just crazy. So earthquakes here in the Philippines. There's a lot, guys. There's a lot going off now, and you can imagine what's happening to people. It's devastating people, and then we've got these tsunamis. Wow, it's getting a little bit crazy. And I was doing the garden yesterday. So I was in the garden yesterday doing the gardening, and I didn't hear any earthquakes. I heard a bit of maybe tremors from the Canlahan volcano, because we're very, very near to the Canlahan volcano. It's smack in front of the house, giving probably about 18-20 kilometres away, but it's absolutely colossal. It's a giant volcano, and like I said, we're just next door to it, so to speak. But there's a lot of cities and towns what are very, very close to the Canlahan, and when the Canlahan goes boom and it throws lava and ash out, a lot of the places get it, but luckily we're just away and we don't get the ash, luckily. But like I said, don't know what's happening with all these earthquakes, but according to experts that monitor the volcanoes and the earth and the earthquakes, the Philippines gets hundreds and hundreds of earthquakes a year. But like I said, very, very news to me. And I mean, I do know, I think 2017, before I ever came to Philippines, 16, 17, when I were online chatting to a friend of mine, there were an earthquake, and this were in, not Mindanao, very, very near to me, not Mindanao, Surigao. I think it's Sarago or Surigao. I think it was Sarago. If I'm probably not pronouncing it properly, but I can remember watching it on YouTube, an earthquake, and I thought, wow, an earthquake in Philippines. And that's before I ever came to Philippines. But now it seems to me like there's, wow, just quite a lot. China's getting a lot. And around Asia, Thailand's getting quite a good few. So, whether it's to do with, it's a very, very hot country here. This is my fault. This is just my fault. And thinking about it, it's a very, very hot country here. And under the earth, it's very, very hot. And, this could be contributing towards the earthquakes. So, anyway, I know a lot of you people don't like this topic because you fear it. So I'll change the topic. Right, but like I said, God bless. Now I'm watching this dog. I've got some short videos. I decided to do some long form videos. And this dog, see there's two. Now see that dog that turned on that dog and that dog run away. Now the other one is quite thin and skinny. I don't know if he belongs to someone or whether the dog's a stray. And I'm going back to rabies. So, you can see, can't you, street dogs. Now, there's a lady here that works on this stand. And this stand actually sells chicken intestines. It sells chicken and things like that. Now, this lady, she actually gives the dog some food. So she's probably a nice, kind girl, kind lady that, she feeds the dog a few scraps. And, later on, I know for a fact, when a lot of these people have gone home, the streets will be full of street dogs. And my view on these street dogs with rabies, bit crazy really. And to be honest, I do actually feel very, very sorry for a lot of these people that are getting bit. And the outcome, rabies, terrible, terrible, terrible death. And we can all catch it. Now, I noticed this lady, she's working away there and she's selling chicken. And I'm thinking, wow, I wonder if a lot of these guys understand. Because I actually think a lot of these guys know about these street dogs and they're quite wary of these street dogs. I actually do think people know. And I think a lot of people just forget how dangerous these street dogs are. And they're not all stray dogs, they do actually have owners. So a lot of people are saying they're all strays. No, they're not. They actually have owners. And, I thought, well, it's a little bit crazy, all these dogs, because actually when I used to walk home late at night, just a bit crazy. So that's just my thoughts on, on the earthquake and these dangerous street dogs as I actually see it. And there's a lot to be said. We're in rainy season now. And last year it was very, very, very hot. But now we're in rainy season. And it's really mild, the weather here in the Philippines. And I know a lot of you guys, it's coming to, in England, UK, Great Britain, God bless, get the damn immigrants, get the illegals out of England, fight. And I'm sure I'm actually going to fight for this when I get back to England. And, it's just got crazy. Point is, a lot of you guys are coming to the Philippines now, and it's going to be winter in England very, very soon. No, October, November, wow. You can call it winter in England, November. It's really, really cold. So a lot of you guys from Canada, America, around the world, Scotland, Wales, Ireland. Have I missed any? Scotland, Wales, Ireland, UK, England, British Isles, Europe. It's going to be freezing in England, and a lot of you guys are actually going to be coming here. And it's quite nice and mild now here in the Philippines. So it's quite a good time to come, but it's up to you guys if you're actually coming to the Philippines or you're going to a different destination. Now, if you're going to a different destination, I know a lot of you guys will be coming to the Philippines, Thailand, and around Asia. Make a comment and what's your favourite destination? Would you prefer somewhere like Thailand, somewhere in Asia, Taiwan? What's your destination? Do you prefer Spain? Make a comment. So, that's what's actually going off here now in the Philippines, guys. And there's a lot of flooding as well. I have to mention it. We're close to Bacolod City. Where we are now, we're probably about 8 kilometres, 10 kilometres off Bacolod and Manam. To get into the city, we're about 15 kilometres. And I've just noticed last week or so, we're having all this lovely rain. It's absolutely lovely for the plants. It's great for the garden. It keeps it cool. It's really nice in the Philippines now, except for the earthquakes, right? Except for that damn crazy, just crazy things. But we're on this planet, and that's what's happening to this planet. And climate change due to trees being sawn down, etc. So a lot of it what's contributing is greed. So we're not going to chat about that, are we? So it's a good time to come, but Bacolod City now is actually flooding quite a lot. So Bacolod City is actually flooding. I'm just feeling it in my foot because I broke some bones in my foot when I first came here to the Philippines. And there's a big lump there, it's a bone. Anyway, so there's a lot of flooding in a lot of the areas. I think Cebu's flooded a lot. And God almighty, guys, I'm going to crack on about these earthquakes. I were actually on Facebook last night. And I've got about 3 or 4 different Facebooks. So if you go onto my Facebook, it's not active. And it's got quite a large following. I'm not on there. It's pointless you'd have to send a message to every one of my Facebooks for me to actually, or you'd have to go on Facebook because it's public and you'll see I'm active. If you see I'm not active, don't bother sending a message. So I'm on Facebook. And wow, a lot of these places here, it's absolutely flattened them. The earthquakes flattened them. There's houses what's on the floor, they're leaning. It's absolutely flattened them. Crazy. So, I was going to chat about... So, if you are actually coming here to the Philippines and you're coming to Bacolod and cities similar to Bacolod, we're getting a lot of floods, but here's fine, and that's due to a lot of, they're not cleaning the rivers, or there's rubbish in the garbage. Anyway, here's Jovaline. Please like and please subscribe to